Did you know that cruise ship staff have a secret list of things they're specifically told not to tell passengers over 50? And I'm not talking about minor inconveniences. I'm talking about things that could cost you thousands of dollars, completely ruin your vacation, or in some cases actually put you in danger. A former crew member who worked on Royal Caribbean for 8 years told me there are 3 things that staff members see every single day that make them cringe, but they're not allowed to warn you because the cruise lines don't want you knowing before you book. Number 1, if you're over 50 and you booked a cabin on deck 2 or 3, you just made a huge mistake, and it has nothing to do with seasickness. Number 2, that unlimited drink package they pushed on you during booking, staff members call it the retirement tax because they know exactly who falls for it and how much money you're wasting. And number 3, there's a specific type of excursion that crew members would never, ever let their own parents book, but they sell hundreds of them every single cruise. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what cruise ship employees wish they could say out loud, the scams that specifically target passengers over 50, and the one thing you need to do before you even step on that ship. Because by the end of this video, you're going to know more than 95% of people who cruise, and you're definitely going to save money. Let's go. Okay, first thing, your cabin location matters way more than the cruise line will ever tell you. And if you're over 50, there are certain cabins you should absolutely avoid. Not because of the view, not because of the size, but because of what's happening around you. Here's what they don't tell you. Cabins on deck 2 and 3 are usually the cheapest. They're marketed as great value and perfect for budget-conscious travelers. But here's what's actually happening down there. Those decks are directly above or below the engine room and the crew quarters, which means 2 things: constant mechanical noise 24/7 and crew members coming and going at all hours, stomping, talking, slamming doors at 3 a.m. when they're finishing their shifts. A woman in her 60s told me she booked a Deck 2 cabin to save $400. She didn't sleep for 7 nights. The humming from the engines was so loud she could feel it vibrating through the bed. She asked to switch rooms. They wanted $1,200 to move her. But here's the real issue for passengers over 50. Those lower decks have the most motion. If you have any joint pain, balance issues, or you're prone to seasickness, you're going to feel every single wave down there. So where should you book? Midship, decks 6 to 8. That's the sweet spot. Less motion, quieter, and you're close to everything. Dining, entertainment, pool deck. And here's the secret staff members know. Never book a cabin directly under the pool deck, the gym, or the buffet. People are dragging deck chairs at 6 a.m. Weights are dropping. It's a nightmare. One crew member told me, "We can always tell who booked the cheap cabins. They're the ones at guest services every morning complaining about noise." Don't be that person. Spend the extra $200. Your sleep is worth it. All right, let's talk about the drink package, because this is where cruise lines make a fortune off passengers over 50, and the staff knows it. Here's how they get you. When you're booking the cruise online, they pop up a message that says, "Add the unlimited drink package now and save 20%. It sounds like a great deal. You're on vacation. You want to relax, have some drinks, not worry about the bill. But here's the math they're hoping you don't do. The drink package costs about $70 to $80 per day. A cocktail on the ship is about $14. So you'd need to drink 5 to 6 alcoholic drinks every single day just to break even. Now be honest with yourself. Are you actually going to drink 6 cocktails a day for 7 days straight? Because most people over 50 don't. You might have 2 at dinner, maybe 1 by the pool. That's 3 drinks. You just paid $80 for $42 worth of drinks. A bartender told me, "We call it the retirement tax." People in their 50s and 60s always buy the package because they think they're getting a deal, but they're the same people ordering 1 glass of wine at dinner and then going to bed at 9 p.m. And here's the real kicker. Some cruise lines require that if 1 person in your cabin buys the drink package, everyone of legal drinking age has to buy it. So if you're traveling with your spouse who doesn't drink much, you both just spent $1,000 on a package you won't use. Frustrated. Here's what experienced cruisers do instead. They bring a bottle or two of wine on board. Most cruise lines allow 1 or 2 bottles per person. They order drinks at dinner and skip the overpriced pool bar. Or they hit up the free wine at the art auctions in the casino. But if you've already bought the package, here's a pro tip from the staff. Order the expensive drinks. If you're paying $80 a day, get the premium cocktails, the top-shelf liquor, the fancy coffees. Don't waste it on beer and soda. Make them regret selling you that package. Okay, this one is serious, and it's something crew members see all the time but can't say anything about. There's a specific type of excursion that's incredibly popular with passengers over 50, and it's responsible for more medical emergencies and missed ships than almost anything else. I'm talking about the adventure excursions at port. Ziplining, ATV tours, cliff diving, those rope courses through the jungle. Now, I'm not saying people over 50 can't do these things, but here's what the cruise line doesn't tell you. These excursions are often run by third-party companies in countries with very different safety standards than what you're used to. A retired couple from Ohio told me they booked a zip-line tour in Honduras. The company seemed legit. They had a booth right at the port, glossy brochures, everything. Halfway through the tour, the husband's harness malfunctioned. He fell 15 feet, shattered his wrist, and had to be helicoptered to a hospital in another city. The insurance situation was a nightmare. They missed the ship. They spent 3 extra days in Honduras trying to sort everything out. Total cost? $22,000. When they finally got home and contacted the cruise line, they were told, "We're not responsible for third-party excursions." Here's what crew members wish they could tell you. If you want to do an adventure excursion, book it through the cruise line, not a random company at the port. Yes, it's more expensive, but if something goes wrong, you're covered. If you're late getting back, the ship waits for you. And honestly, if you're over 50 and you haven't been physically active in a while, maybe skip the extreme stuff. There's no shame in taking a cultural tour or a beach day instead of trying to prove you can still zip line like you're 25. A ship doctor told me, "We see the same injuries over and over. Passengers in their 50s, 60s, and 70s doing excursions their bodies can't handle anymore. Broken bones, heart attacks, heat exhaustion. It's preventable." So ask yourself, is that zipline tour really worth risking your vacation and your health? Speaking of health, this is the one that makes me furious because cruise lines absolutely do not make this clear when you book. Medical care on cruise ships is outrageously expensive. We're talking $1,000 just to see the doctor, $500 for an IV, $15,000 plus if you need to be airlifted off the ship. And here's the part that shocks people. Your regular health insurance probably doesn't cover it. Medicare definitely doesn't cover medical care in international waters or foreign countries. A woman in her 70s told me she had chest pain on day 4 of her cruise. She went to the medical center, they ran some tests, kept her overnight for observation, turned out to be acid reflux. Nothing serious. The bill was $9,400. Her Medicare covered $0. The cruise line demanded payment before she could disembark. She had to put it on a credit card and spent the next 2 years paying it off. So here's what you absolutely must do before you cruise. Buy real travel insurance that specifically covers medical emergencies at sea and medical evacuation. Not the cheap insurance the cruise line tries to sell you during checkout. That usually only covers trip cancellations. I'm talking about comprehensive travel insurance from a third-party company like Allianz or Travel Guard. It'll cost you about $150 to $250 for a week-long cruise, depending on your age. But it could save you tens of thousands. And bring extra medications. Seriously, if you run out and have to buy them from the ship's pharmacy, you'll pay 10 times what you'd pay at CVS. A crew member told me, the number of people who run out of their heart medication or diabetes medication and then freak out when they see the prices. It happens every single cruise. Don't let that be you. Okay, this one is going to sound paranoid, but I promise you it's real, and crew members see it happen constantly. On embarkation day, when everyone's boarding and heading to the buffet, there are people watching you. And I don't mean the crew. These are professional scammers who cruise specifically to target passengers, and they have a system. Here's how it works. They stand near the buffet or the pool deck, and they watch for certain signs. Are you asking staff basic questions? Do you seem confused about how the ship works? Are you traveling alone? Are you over 50 or 60? If you check those boxes, you're a target. They'll approach you, strike up a friendly conversation, offer to help you find your way around. They'll sit with you at lunch, invite you to trivia, become your cruise buddy. And over the next few days, they learn everything about you. Where you're from, if you're traveling alone, what excursions you booked, what time you go to dinner. Then comes the scam. Either they rob your cabin while you're with them at a show, or they convince you to help them out with money. Maybe they forgot their wallet at port, or they're selling discounted excursion tickets that don't exist. A retired teacher from Michigan told me she lost $2,500 this way. She met a lovely couple on day 1. They became friends, and by day 6, they had convinced her to buy jewelry from them that they claimed was a great deal from a local artisan. It was fake, and when she tried to find them the next day, they were gone. Off the ship at the next port, here's the rule. Be polite, but be private. You don't owe strangers your life story in the first 48 hours. If someone seems overly interested in your schedule or your plans, that's a red flag. And never, ever lend money to someone you just met on a cruise. I don't care how nice they seem. Quick one, but important. If you like to gamble, the casino on a cruise ship is designed to take your money faster than any casino on land. Here's why. Cruise ship casinos are in international waters, which means they don't have to follow the same regulations as Las Vegas or Atlantic City. The slot machines can be programmed to pay out less. The table games can have worse odds, and they pump oxygen and play upbeat music to keep you awake and gambling longer. But here's the thing cruise lines don't advertise. If you're gambling, your drinks are free. So if you're going to play anyway, make sure you're getting those free cocktails. Sit at a slot machine, order drinks, play slowly. You'll spend $40 on slots and get $60 worth of drinks. A bartender told me, smart passengers know this trick. They nurse one $20 bill for an hour and get 6 free drinks. Just don't get sucked into chasing losses. The house always wins, especially on a cruise ship. Last thing, if you upgraded to a balcony cabin, congratulations. You just paid an extra $800 for something you're probably going to use twice. I'm not saying balconies aren't nice, they are, but here's what crew members notice. Most passengers over 50 book balcony cabins because it sounds luxurious, and then they spend all their time at the pool, the restaurants, and the shows. The balcony sits empty except for maybe one morning when you drink coffee out there. If you're someone who actually sits on your balcony and reads for hours, great. It's worth it. But if you're booking it because you think you're supposed to, save that money. Get an ocean view or an inside cabin and spend the extra cash on an upgraded excursion or a nice dinner at the specialty restaurant. A crew member told me, the funniest thing is watching people pay for balconies and then complain that it's too windy, too hot, too loud, or too cold to actually use it. Be honest with yourself about what you'll actually do on the cruise. Look, cruising is incredible. It's one of the best ways to see the world, relax, and have an amazing vacation. But the cruise lines are businesses. They make money by upselling you, by not telling you the full story, and by banking on the fact that most people don't ask questions. So here's your checklist before your next cruise. 1. Book midship, deck 6 to 8. Avoid the cheap cabins on deck 2 or 3. 2. Skip the drink package unless you're honestly going to drink 5 to 6 drinks a day. 3. Book excursions through the cruise line, not random people at port, and maybe skip the extreme adventure stuff. 4. Get real travel insurance that covers medical emergencies at sea. Bring extra medications. 5. Be cautious about oversharing with new friends in the first 48 hours. And 6. Be realistic about whether you'll actually use that balcony. Do those things and you'll have the vacation you deserve, without the surprises, the scams, or the regrets. Now go book that cruise, be smart, and enjoy every second. And remember, every day is a happy day.